Stop paying $200 a year for Canva or Pitch. Build AI slides locally, free, private, and automate them in your own IDE or CLI. No subscription fees, no data leaks, just results. We'll jump in. All right, to get started, you're going to see it on the screen. You're going to have to go to this repo, Slide AI Presentation, SlideDev AI Presentations. This is the repo I've made to generate slides automatically in your IDE or using a CLI tool. Essentially, how it works is we're using SlideDev under the hood, and we've custom built it with a lot of different commands and prompts for the AI to use, and we'll go into that in quite a bit. So just use the link down below to access the Git repo, and just make sure you're in Darren Hind, SlideDev AI Presentations. All right, now that you've downloaded the repo, you should see something like this. To just quickly go into how everything works, I've kind of set up some scripts here that you can help organize your different presentations. So you'll see this folder called presentations. All your new presentations will be made in here. You'll also have a folder for images, and they will also be organized right over here. And essentially, if you wanted to do this without any AI, you could actually just run PM menu, and it will actually bring you up different options you can run. You can see you can run a presentation, export a presentation, or create a new presentation from the get-go. So if we just want to run the example, you can see there's only one, and it will actually spin up the SlideDev instance, and we can actually view that presentation right off the get-go. All right, and here's the example presentation. Not too pretty, but you get the idea. All right, so the power of this comes in, you can actually make presentations for your content, or maybe you've got a business meeting coming up and you just want to quickly put some presentations together. So I'm going to use two tools here. I'm going to use Cursor. I'm going to use the audio mode. So if you don't want to pay for Cursor, you can still use this. And I'm actually going to show the demonstration purposes of it. And I'm going to also use Claude Code to also generate two different instances. All right, I'm going to go to Perplexity. On screen, I've just asked it to make me two different presentations, and I'm just going to feed this both into Claude CLI and Cursor, and we're going to just see the difference between both. So for the first one, I'm going to say this. The first one is just latest innovations in August 2025 with 8 slides. And I'm going to give this to Cursor on auto mode. Essentially, I'm going to just tell it at the top, make a presentation about this. And I'm literally going to fire that off. Before I do, I actually want to run both at the same time. So I'm just going to start Claude Code. And I'm just going to go back to Perplexity, and I'm going to grab that second presentation so we can see both running at the same time. All right, so we're going to kick off both of these at the same time to see what happens. One thing to note is Cursor does actually have access to an image MCP, so it'll be interesting to see if it actually asks to generate the image. I have put the rules in, but that's just something new I added recently. Claude doesn't, so there won't be any images for Claude. But other than that, we should see very similar results. All right, let's hit enter and let's see what happens. I will be honest, I've always been quite impressed with Cursor Auto, especially with AI agentic flows recently, if they are simple. If they're complex, not so much. So, all right, so it's actually following the plan. It's actually looking at the presentation template and going through that, and then it's actually creating a plan TXT, which is part of the rules. So we can see it created its plan, it's got the different sections, and it's going to use that, which is great. And I put it in its own folder, so it can work for that. So one of the tips I would say if you really are building with AI in your code base, is try and make it have a file that it can reference to just for context. And you generally get better results. All right, we can see Claude Code is also doing a presentation TXT, so it's a little bit behind, but we'll see what the results are at the end. So if we just go open here, we can see Claude Code also made its own presentation. Now it's making the slides. And we can see Cursor Auto is kind of finished most of its slides, and it's giving us a last created action. All right, now it's telling us to run it. So it's going into the presentation folder to run it. The problem is it sees it's running, but I think it will kill itself here. So we're still just waiting for Claude Code to finish. I don't know. So for whatever reason, it thought I was, okay, that was my fault. I forgot to give it permission just to edit the files, but no biggie. All right, so it's just while we're waiting for Claude Code to run, let's just run our PMPM menu. And we can just run our presentation. And I think for this one was latest innovations. So that's 2. So we're just going to run 2 and it'll spin it up. All right, and we can come here and view our presentation. So it gave us some color. It's not the greatest. The theme, I don't think it actually knows what the theme colors are. So we can see different ones there. All right, so we've got our presentations in, nothing too hectic. And let's just see what Claude Code, if it's finished with everything. It's doing responsive design. Also, another thing is some themes that you can choose, which is quite useful. So if we go to themes here, if we go to themes, and sorry, we go to the themes gallery. So in here, we'll see there's a lot of different themes we can choose from. And it's quite simple to get started. So I'm going to pick, I really like this one. So it's very simple. You can see you just literally just change the theme here. So if we go back, and I'm going to change it for the slide, the latest tech innovations. I'm just going to go slide here. I'll just keep this. And we will just go to theme here. And I'll change that. One thing to note, it'll actually come here and tell me, do I want to install this theme? And I can just type yes here. And it'll actually change the theme. So it will restart the slides. So if we come back to our slides and we just go here, we can actually see it change the theme of our slides quite easily. And that looks a lot better. All right, we wanted to run Claude Code one. We're going to run a presentation. And we're going to do, I believe it was AI breakthroughs. I just want to make sure. Yeah, it was AI breakthroughs. So we're going to run the first one. And again, it'll be using the default theme. So if we go here, we can check that it's running the default theme. We can see there is our AI breakthroughs. It's got some nice animations in it. So Claude did actually add animations. We're still getting some of those issues. So that's something we could probably fix in the styling. And we can see that. One thing, what is nice is you can actually edit the stuff right in here. So if you right click edit, I can actually make changes here, like biggest debates, like biggest risks, for example. And if I actually go back to the code editor, I will actually see on that slide, it would have changed. So I think that was debates. Who was that? I think it was at the end, right? Yeah, so it was at the end. So we go here and we can see it's changed in the code. All right, we asked Claude just to update the slides. This is what it looks like, so a lot easier to read. And we probably could still make more adjustments. You know, the sections look very bland, but we can always prompt it to make all of that. Anyway, I hope this video helped you understand how you can quickly use Cursor or Claude Code to just generate slides for yourself. And you can actually put this in an automatic pipeline. You could use GitHub Actions, for example, and install Claude Code. And every time you actually commit maybe a content to a certain folder, you can then pull it in to the pipeline, and Claude Code could probably spin up your presentation for you just to give you a rough draft. Well, I hope you found this content useful. And if you like this or content like this, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video where I cover a lot of different topics around AI tooling, AI code, AI products, and business-related deployments. So I'll see you in the next video.